Hello, everyone. There is a revolution going on in the northern part of the country. It's silent, at the same time it is loud. For those who can see the picture or the silent picture, the hidden picture, it is right there before everybody's eyes. What you just saw is citizens beating up their lawmaker who hadn't done well for them at all. And I think this happened in Zamfara State. One of the things I've always said is there's going to be a revolution in Nigeria in whatever stand. It's going to be from the north. The north is more fearless, especially the northwest axis, especially the northwest axis. They're very fearless. They can be laid back, it doesn't matter, doing their own thing. But if you vest them, and they don't, like I said, they are fearless. Anyhow, he died there. When you hear the Asama go don't tell you, say, panjam, what go happen, may it happen. As he go take whatever, may it scatter. And they're slowly getting to that place. But most importantly, there's something that someone said some time ago that I was like, and which is so true, but I've never sat down to really ponder on it or look at it from that perspective. And it is the fact that most northern rulers, they always listen to what it is that the people want and they behave accordingly. Unfortunately, we don't have that kind of a thing in the southern part of the country. And I'll tell you, you might look and say, oh, because I see a lot of people like, when election come now, they will vote that way. All this is, hold on. If you see the northern, for example, when Atiku was doing had tweeted about Deborah in Sokoto, you see he had to delete that post. Those are the kind of things that I'm looking for. It might not be for good or whatever. It might be for but when in the north, the rulers are always afraid of the people because they know if there's an uprising to consume everybody. And they know the day the people decide that, look, we have your time, they will go. So when they always see something that the people are not liking it, they will go away, they will teach away from it. When they see that's what they want, they will stay on it. That's why you see sometimes certain issues, they are unable, the leaders that you said, why are you not taking decision on it? Why they are unable to, because that is where the masses is, is tilted towards. I don't know if you're understanding me. So let me give you an example now. For example, when you're talking about the way, I'm trying to see some particular issue. Let me say, for example, on the issue of blasphemy and sometimes the killings that you have, you're finding that you if you check, you will not see a number of the northern rulers or leaders, whatever you decide to call them, coming out to publicly have a stance and say, this is what I mean, this is it. No, what they do is they will gauge the mood of the people. If I say it, even though they know that it is wrong, they can't say, but if I say it's wrong, now the people will say this. So you see them being very cautious of the people and not doing this. It's not like that in the south. The southern district, they will say their own. Do they even have time for this? Because they know the people cannot even have mind to stand, to rise, to do anything, to whatever. So there is that more control. So if the people, and we found situation whereby when they really get it, they can vote people out. Zamfara have done that, as several times. Katsina have done that. Kano have done that. A good quite number of them, they want to do it. Like, for example, like some people put you saw what happened during the gubernatorial election when the results were going this. In Kano came out en masse on the streets. Some people even afraid of what the Kano people will do. So you have more of that, which you really don't see in the southern part of the country. But one of the things that is happening now, and that's why they use religion a lot, when they will tell you protest is haram, is basically because of these things, to be able to keep the people subdued, because they know if the people are not kept subdued, then they will overpower. And one of the ways when you look up that to the north, I'm speaking more of the northwest now. So what will happen is that they are religious, they are Muslims, and so they try to follow the Hadith, the Quran. You have situation whereby parents have a very high standing in Islam. You're supposed to respect your parents. You're supposed to go with them. And a lot of things for a man. Your paradise is at the feet of your mother, and so parents are when they say something, people follow. Not unlike in the southern part where people are more are more prone to like rebelling against the president. Say, Atale, abeg sit down, this one no be your matter. We dey talk, it's not like that more in the northern part of the country. So because of that, they use a lot of religion to keep the people subdued, so that the people do not rise up. So that's why you see Malams having very important role, not in terms of telling people all the best, in terms of the preaching, to say, oh, this is Islam, this is what Islam wants. And then religion is always that weak point in the north. So when they bring in about Islam, free, the person is not even ready to hear anything, whether it is or it's not. And that's why that deliberate not educating the people, it's there. Because if people are not educated Islamically, they are not educated with Western education, they really don't know. Whatever a Malam says or someone says, they will believe it without actually interrogating it and say, no, this is actually what is on ground. So you've seen those kind of situations coming out, those kind of scenario, and that happens a lot. But another thing, okay, let me talk about another thing that usually you will see now. I think it was during the end hunger protests that were being done, where you saw some Malams coming in to come and start preaching against coming out to protest. They almost lynched them. And for me, I was born and brought up in the northern part of the country, in Kano to be precise, and I lived among natives. Not as if I was living in Sabangari or a place where it's non-native. You really didn't assimilate to the country. I was brought up, in it. For people to raise, and that was in California, for people to raise up their voices against Malams, to speak against Malam, up to the extent that youth are saying that they want to go after Malam, that is a major, significant thing that is happening there. And we're having more of this. As per leaders and co, people have always gone against leaders when they feel that they are not doing the right thing and all of that, but not necessarily against malice. But we're seeing them coming out to challenge. And one of the things that is really leading to this is the advent of social media, where a lot of people are able to communicate, they're able to see what's happening in other world. The youth are not as laid back as the parents. We, the parent generation, they are more open, they are more demanding, and they're saying to heck with everything. Because and they're saying how bad things are, and you're going to a situation where things are so bad that people. So what authority do you have over someone when the person is suffering and you've not been able to do anything about their suffering? You really don't have that much authority. So there's this authority is being lost, and a lot of the youth are taking more and more of their what's the word, agency, more and more of their agency together. So let's continue to what 2027 is really not going to be as the way people think. But for me, one of the things is that we must ensure that whatever we're doing, that we're having a revolution of a bloodless revolution, where systems are being changed for good. If we do not do that, then there will be a bloody revolution, and every one of us will be affected. Thank you so much for watching.